you haven't seen the other one, my car was impounded by police. Thank God we've got the car back, obviously. I'm going to be talking you through the whole process of getting the car back, because it was a bit stressful. They spoke French, I spoke English, neither of us spoke the other language. There was a lot of like communication which had a big question mark on it. Is this going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? Thankfully, we will say the car's back. There's not a scratch on it. They haven't driven it at all. Everything is as it seems, but it was an expensive endeavor. As I said in the previous one, this is all for something that I didn't actually do wrong, and I'd hold my hands up if I did do something wrong, but I haven't. A lot of people on my TikTok have given me a lot of advice. Some of that is get in touch with the consulate, which I have done. Some of that is get in touch with Ford, get your speed log, which I am going to. I was actually supposed to today. I'm just trying to prove myself innocent, because apparently the way it works in France is you've got to prove yourself innocent. The police don't have to prove you guilty, which I find insane. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed whatever this is. It's been very stressful for me. I have not enjoyed it, but it might make for some good content, so make sure you have liked and subscribed. Without further ado, I'm essentially going to break down all the costs that I've spent in one day of traveling. I was there for like 3 days in total. It was meant to be like a 5-day trip, so instantly I was there for 3 days, not 5 days. I lost out on the return ferry. I lost out on my accommodation. That adds up to about £200 to £300 off the top of my head. I had to pay a fine up front, which was supposed to be £750. I said I cannot pay that. They then brought the fine down to £300, which makes me think, is this fine just like plucked out of thin air if you're able to bring it down? So I paid the €300 fine on the spot. I also had to pay for a taxi half an hour to where we were staying. That was £200. I had to pay for a taxi to the airport, £550. I had to pay for flights, £250. Had to pay for the impound, £205. You can see this is adding up quite fast. As I said, something that I haven't done wrong, which is why I'm doing this big claim to the consulate, because it's disgusting the way I was treated. And then the cost to get the car back 14 hours home was about 1,200, 1,500 quid. So all in all, I'm sure you can do the maths, quite down, not including the time off work, not including the fuel, the tolls, the stress. So yeah, the car is back, as I said. So we had to essentially email the police gave me a form to say the car can be released on the 14th of March. We were going to pick it up on the 15th of March, which is 7 days after they took it off me. And that said, it said that on the original form. So I gave that to the place who were keeping my car. They said no, we need authorization to say we can let the car out. I was like, what? Like, it literally says it on the sheet. They're like, we need authorization. So then I had to go back to the French police, who, I have to be fair to them, the people on the phone were amazing. I think my mum spoke to them, and we eventually got somewhere. We got an email, who we then had to email like back and forth a few times to say, like, can we get authorization? Because it wasn't me picking the car up, we needed to prove who was, which was the recovery driver. So we did that as well. So not only were we talking to the police, we were talking to the recovery driver, who I think he does a lot of that. He's back and forth from England, so I think he does a lot of this kind of stuff. So he was great as well. Sent over all of his like insurance and all that kind of stuff, which we then sent to the police, who then gave us authorization. I then sent it to the impound who had my car. They were, again, a lot of it is Google Translate, so it's hard to gauge tone, but they were quite abrupt just on their tone. So they required the authorization, they required the ID, they required all sorts of stuff, and it was a lot of back and forth. It was about a whole 3-day process just to get clearance to get my car back. Bear in mind that they only had my car 7 or 8 days, so it may not seem like a lot, but 2 of them days I was still in France. I didn't want to do anything till I was back in England, because it was so stressful as it was. I'll be like open honest, like it almost like crushed me. Not so much the car, the fact that it was like a big abuse of power. It was horrible. So I just wanted to sort it when I'm back home with my family. So we lost like 2 days there. It was then like a 3-4 day process, so it was cutting it tight. As I said, we'd already paid for the recovery driver. And then I was like, can he arrive at 7:30 in the morning? They're like, no, we're gonna we open at 9. I was like, okay, that's fine. Can you, like, because it wasn't a day they're supposed to be opening, so like the earliest time we can get there is 9. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. Are you happy to be there at 9? They go, no, you have to phone us an hour earlier, which would have been 8 o'clock, which for England would have been 7 o'clock. So I was like, oh my god, like, I've just said to you, can I have the car at 9? You're saying yes, but we've got to call you. Like, it definitely doesn't sound as stressful now I'm saying it, but in the moment, I'm sure you can imagine, one party's French, one party's English. We're emailing back and forth. We're cutting it close for time. Woke up at like 7 on the day. Got a photo from the recovery guy to say he's got the car, thank God. So it took him about a day or so to bring the car home. It took him a day and a half to bring the car home, because he's a van, so he's got like a recovery van, so he had like certain speeds and tachographs and all that kind of stuff. But again, massive credit to him. Brought us the car home. It's all safe and sound. But yeah, it was probably the most stressful process ever. And as I said, I'm now in the massive process of getting the funds back, because it was unright, it was unjust, it was not right, it was unjust, it was unlawful. I think it was an abuse of power. So I want to make sure things are right. I'm sure you would want to do the same. So hopefully you have enjoyed whatever this is, and hopefully we can continue with normal content. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.